Hiya guys. Okay, so the previous video that you would have watched if you were in our training, we went through the 15 in 5 method of creating your content. Now I want to take you through the framework that we use to expand on the details of your content. Now, if you ever wanted more people to actually watch your videos all the way through, then this particular framework will be very useful to you. It's designed to hook and then hold more people throughout your whole video. We found that creating video content is crucial. And it's not only is it easier to consume for your ideal customers, it's what actually allows you to actually grow your warm audience of your ideal customers without even relying on the pixel data. Okay. Because video ads are fully inside the Facebook platform, you can actually track the people who've watched 25% of your videos, and then you can save those as your warm audience. And then, this is the best bit, you can retarget them with your £2 ads. Sometimes you can get this down to just £1 a day. That's what we do right now, okay? And we've got thousands of people on our warm audience now, okay? And this is one of the easiest and fastest ways to get a qualified audience of your ideal customers, okay? They qualify themselves by actually watching your video, and at the same time, they're getting to know more about what you do and what your agency does. And this is what actually makes them warmer and warmer. They know what it is you're up to before they even speak to you. So anyway, let's get into this framework itself. Shall we get you started by writing your first piece of content? Okay, well, the framework we use to create our own videos is called the Power Content Framework. And it has its own structure. And it's as follows, okay? First, there is a headline that catches the attention of your local house sellers and it draws them in to listen to your next sentence. They need a reason to be listening to you. Next, you're going to have your promise of value. This is the sentence that asks your viewers for the next 5 minutes or so of their time, and then it's going to tell them exactly how they will benefit from watching your video. This is actually what will get more sellers to actually sit and watch your video all the way through. Okay, they don't need to be sitting, they could be standing on the train, whatever. But point is, it gives them a reason for watching and they know how long it's going to take. Now, after that, you're going to include your call to action. Now, one of the best ways we've found to get your leads from your content is to get sellers to comment below in exchange for some free information, a lead magnet or something, okay? From there, you can actually follow a process to actually start conversations straight away with your local house sellers. And this makes all the difference than just them downloading a free lead magnet directly without even speaking to you first. The next part of the video, you're going to add in your self-introduction. Now, this is going to be the same for every single video, and I'm happy to teach that process on how you can create one later on in this video. Just for now, just know that this self-introduction will set your standard for who it is you are, and it lets your audience know what it is that they can expect if they follow you. Next, you want to repeat your promise of value. And this is because after your call to action and your self-introduction, you want to set the tone of your video back to what they can expect, so they will watch your video all the way through. Now, after that repeat, you actually start explaining what we call the meat and potatoes of your video subject, the main course, okay? What you can do is you can go into detail and you give your ideal customers just one single quick win or a single aha moment sort of thing. Just anything that they can just take away and benefit from today. Not anything too much, but something that they can take away from listening to your knowledge. And then finally at the end, you repeat your call to action. And this helps to drive more house sellers to actually comment on your video and start your conversations. Now, you might find that they want to go straight to Messenger. You might even find they pick up the phone and call you, but you'll find that out in what it's like in your area. It's different everywhere. But that is the framework that you will follow to create your videos from this point on. Okay, now we're going to go into the execution for the framework in a moment. However, I just wanted to cover a few key points. Now, one of the main ones that we've noticed is that some agents, in fact, most agents, worry that explaining their own process to their local area would just mean that people are going to take the information from their video and then go use it for themselves or elsewhere. But the thing is, you need to remember is that neither the homeowners themselves or your competition can take your skills away from watching your videos. And it's the skills that make you who you are, and that's the reason people come to you. It's how you execute things, okay? There is so much information out there on a estate agency. And in fact, you can say there's actually too much, but lack of information is never the problem. If somebody wants to know how to sell their house without an agent, YouTube has a ridiculous amount of videos on it. You just have a quick look at it. It's just crazy. But the idea behind this is what your ideal customers want to see is that you know what to do. Yeah. And by explaining the whole process to them of how you fulfill their needs and desires for that process, you just prove to them that you know what you're doing. You're the expert at this. And then they feel reassured and they feel confident that you know what you're doing. And that helps them to choose you as the agent. Does that make sense? Now, some of the value that you share in your videos is the same kind of information that you just share on your normal valuation appointments when you go into that front room. You know, if people know about how you help people through a video before they even meet you, that's not going to take away from any of the benefits of choosing you. It's just going to increase it. Now, you'll find that more sellers actually ask for evaluation because they now know that you are a good estate agent in the first place. Does that make sense? Okay, now that we've discovered why we create power content as estate agents, let's go into the how. Now, the very first thing you want to write is your promise of value. In fact, you want to take your 15 pieces of content that you prepared in the last exercise and write a promise of value for each one of them first, okay? So let's take an example. Let's say if your video subject is how to stage a property for photographs, your promise of value could be, give me the next 5 minutes and I will show you how you can attract more buyers to view your property with a few changes on how your home is presented. That's just off the cuff. Anyway, you know more about your subject and the benefits of how you can explain in your promise of value. So all you want to do is go ahead, write out the promise of value for each of your 15 pieces of content. Now, I'm going to pause here while you go and do that because it's very important just to get on and do things if you want things to actually move forward. So pause. I'm just kidding, guys. But yeah, go and do that now. Do pause the video and go do it because you'll find that you will execute this much quicker if you do it as we say, go and do it, okay? All done? Excellent. Now, so once you have your promise of value, it's a lot easier to write a good headline. It's really interesting. Now, I've seen a lot of people write their promise of value into the headline when trying to write their headline first. So that's why we always suggest writing out the promise of value first to avoid this common mistake, and it does make a huge difference. Now, writing headlines at this point is more of a skill or an art, and you get better with practice. But with this framework, writing a good headline is so much easier, okay? A quick example could be, let's go for London home sellers want to know what style lets your house sell for the most amount of money right now. Now, after those top 2 sentences, you just want to write in your call to action, okay? And this means you want to offer something that's going to be relevant for them that's free. We call it a lead magnet. I'm sure you're aware of that. And that's, the same as what a valuation tool would do, okay? But this one needs to be relevant to your video's topic, and it's going to expand upon what you teach them in the video, okay? And the idea is that this will get more sellers asking you for your lead magnets in the comments, okay? Now, for house staging video, you could just create a house staging checklist for your viewers to also get, okay? And then you can add it to your video in the call to action like this. So you just say, and as a thank you for watching this video, comment below, and I'm happy to send you over our house staging checklist that I always use to get all properties the best results possible to attract multiple buyers or something like that. Now, once you have written out these first 3 parts of your power content, you can then focus more upon the contents of what you plan to teach your audience, what you want to share with them. Before we get into the explanation part of your video, however, we do need to write your self-introduction because this is actually very powerful. I never realised this until I'd done it for quite a while. But now, as I mentioned, your self-introduction will introduce yourself and your agency to your whole audience. But the main part is it actually tells them exactly what they can expect from following you and by what they can get from watching your videos. Okay? But finally, it's your chance to prove that you're credible. And if you've got any awards or social proof, you can use that as well, okay? Now, I could actually create a whole video on preparing your self-introduction alone. Maybe I ought to. But find the right social proof to use and how to describe yourself, so on. But let's keep it brief for this video today. Anyway, first of all, you want to start by introducing your name. Then you could add some proof in that you're an expert at what you do. And at the end, you tell your ideal customers what they can expect from watching your videos. For example, I use something, I'm just going to use as an example actually. My name is Tina Sanford and I'm the founder of estateagentsuccess.com, and I've helped over 100 estate agencies so far to improve their online advertising by honing their offers and improving their Facebook ads and more, things like that. And then I could say in each of my videos, I can teach you one skill or key concept that you can implement for your own estate agency to get more leads. And then let's begin. That's just an example of what you could do, yeah? Now, I'm going to suggest that you start now. Just start, yeah? And get perfect later, yeah? Now, your achievements will grow over time, and with it, you can rewrite your self-introduction to reflect your own growth, okay? So don't worry too much, yeah? You all have special, let's say, skills and that, and just put those in. Just give people a reason. You know what you're good at. Now, this self-intro will be the same for all the content you're going to create, and this is so that people who watch your videos and read your posts, they just get to know who you are and what you do off by heart, and this makes you highly referable. As a local estate agent, that's going to make waves for your local reputation. So write your self-introduction and then save for all the videos that you create. Okay, remember you can adjust it as time goes on and you get more awards and things. Now, the last thing, actually, let's do the 5th and 7th. Okay, so the 5th step and the 7th step, they really are just repetitions of the promise of value and the call to action respectively, just to remind them. And that leaves us just with the 6th step, okay? And that's just explaining the meat and potatoes, the main course of your subject. Now, this is actually easier than the rest of it in my mind, because all you have to do is expand on your chosen subject, which you know already. And it really is just a case of writing out processes that you already take, so you know off by heart. But one of the common problems I see when writing this section is me, anyway, tend to go off track. So what I tend to suggest to people is write out 3 bullet points before you start to keep your subject on track, because it's very easy to, waffle, as my mum says. Now, if we follow our current example, 3 bullet points could be, go back to the home staging example because that's easy, how to stage your home for the best selling price. And the second one could be the steps to stage your home effectively. And the third one could be what to avoid when staging your home. Okay, so then we've got 3 bullet points that we can talk about. These don't need to be very long. That's the cool thing about this. In fact, you don't want them to be long. Okay, you really want them to be a minimum of 3, but the maximum of 5. Okay. Now, one thing to remember: people are only going to remember 10% of your video. That's all of us, yeah? So you want to keep it short and simple anyway, because you can make more videos and keep them short and sweet. And then people who need to find that specific piece of information when they're searching will be able to find it easily, rather than if you've got a whole long video about lots of different topics, they're not likely to even touch it, to be honest, especially not in this day and age. But voila. By following these steps, you can complete your first piece of power content. And if you want, share it with us and we can look over it and help you with it if you're not sure, okay? We're happy to help people. We want people to succeed, okay? Now, you want to get your 15 pieces of power content written out as soon as possible, because it's very easy to put this off, but so that you can actually move forward with growing your warm audience. And just remember, you're writing about what it is you do. So it really is easy. And if you enjoy what you do, this is actually really enjoyable, okay? You want to share what you know, what it is you do, and there's no right or wrong here. Obviously, use language that people appreciate, and that's all you need to do. So I'm going to suggest you get that done. And if you want us to have a look at it for you when you've finished, we're here for you, okay? Just send us a message in Messenger, and we're happy to have a look over it for you and give you any advice or help, okay? So I'm going to suggest you just go get that done, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!